As we are at our last session of the day, it is called Nurturing the Ground for AI Development in India. For this, I would like to request Professor Ganesh Ramakrishnan, Bank of Baroda Chair Professor in Digital Entrepreneurship, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Bombay. Dr. Sandeep Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering and School of Artificial Intelligence, IIT Delhi. And Gaurav Kumar Nayak, Assistant Professor-Mehta Family of Data Sciences and Artificial Intelligence, IIT Roorkee. Thank you for joining us. As all of we know that we are running out of time and it is very, very short. So let's the discussion begin, and I would like to mention it first only. We have to wrap it up as early as possible. So try to make your questions as short as script, but informative. Information is everything. So first question for our panelist, Professor Ganesh. Yeah. So I would like to ask, since Bharat Gen is spearheaded by IIT Bombay, how is Bharat Gen designed to handle all the linguistic and cultural diversity of India? And what are some of the key milestones or timelines we can expect from the Bharat Gen project over the next year?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, Bharat Gen, the way it is set up by design, is meant to be inclusive of both the research mindset and the wherewithal which is required to be able to gather data, implement at scale, which is through a Section 8 company. So it's basically a Section 8 company at IIT Bombay, the Technology Innovation Hub, where the Department of Science and Technology is funded, with 7 academic consortium partners. Now, what is very interesting is, while we have IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Mandi, we also have IIM Indore, and the Institute of Management actually is doing a great job in the process of acquiring data. The data acquisition, we often look at what we call the head. There's a head of the distribution, but there's a long tail, and the long tail is actually scattered across multiple resources. As some of our colleagues also work on tribal languages, they would know. And there are many of them actually waiting to be shared, waiting to be integrated into the mainstream. I think the challenge is our outreach, right? So the Institute of Management, Indian Institute of Management, Indore is doing a fabulous job there. Besides that, at the Section 8 company itself, we have actually tied up extensively with vendors, created a very strong agentic framework to help curate the data, bring sanity, deduplicate. So the processes, building processes that scale is also very important, and leaving a footprint along with benchmarks on AI Coach, etc. The other part of your question was, what are the timelines, right? So we just had a big launch, and en route to the launch of the Bharat Gen Summit a couple of weeks back, we launched several text models. Param, we are in the process of releasing Ananta, a mixture of experts. We also had Suktam and Shrutam, which are the text-to-speech and ASR models, achieving state-of-the-art benchmarks. And finally, India's first vision document language model, which is called Patram. Many of them have been inspired by downstream applications, and that's one of the reasons. It's not just R, there is R&D through the Section 8 company. And therefore, it's in terms of timelines, while there is some scope for blue sky thinking, all the work has to be grounded in applications that India demands, because compute obviously is not as much available in plenty as we would have desired, right? And rightfully so, we shouldn't be frittering away taxpayers' money, and therefore the timelines have also been set based on where the impact is going to be seen, whether it's agriculture, citizens' grievances, or the fintech.
Right. I have another question for you, Mr. Ganesh. How do you see India's role evolving in the global generative AI landscape, and especially with the initiative like Bharat Gen?
Thanks again for a wonderful question. There is the engineering component which becomes very important when it comes to recipe building and know-how, right? Unless you understand what are the nuts and bolts that really go into existing state-of-the-art functional LLMs or large language models, or for that matter, generative speech as well, it's very difficult to innovate, right? because you try to compensate for engineering through research, it's a bad choice. So what we've been able to do at Bharatjan is hire top-notch engineers, graduates from our own, the IITs, and along with them, our research staff have been doing very complementary task in terms of bringing the research and engineering together. And you see, DeepSeek is also a manifestation of very good research that saw the light of the day through very good multi-token prediction with the speculative decoding, good mixture of expert models, which have been talked about for long, but engineering actually helped them realize it. So I think that's very important to highlight that the structure, the form of Bharatjan itself is one of the very unique models in the world to help innovate. We have already seen the effect of this, whether it's our tokenizers. We have been innovating extensively on the tokenizer, not just by exploiting the morphological similarity of Indian languages, but also their syntactic similarity, leveraging the phonetic similarity of the speech, ensuring that there is we don't overly rely on Western models, which are often based on very discrete notions such as duration prediction when it comes to generative speech, and instead build into it approaches that can actually factor in the continuum that we see in Indian dialects. Indian dialects have continuum, unlike British English, American English, and Australian English. Here we see a lot of continuum as we move across the Hindi belt.
Exactly.
How do we leverage that? And that we've been able to innovate through models.
Yes. So does this mean we can see DeepSeek model coming out of any of the IITs in next few years?
By the way, Bharatjan is expanding its consortium. So it's, when we say IITs, it's not just the existing IITs.
Of course.
The landscape is much bigger. We are working extensively with the Ministry of IT through the India AI mission to have a much larger scope of collaboration, so that innovation is not just at the tier 1, but also all the tier 2 and other colleges, where I think the representation of local languages is going to be a lot better. Right. That's point number 1. And the point number 2 is extensive industry collaboration, because the whole purpose of setting up a Section 8 company is so that the TRL levels are upped, right? But at the same time, the commercialization happens through many other entities, which could include system integrators as well.
Right.
Innovations will happen when we all work collectively. So in fact, it's a call for co-inventing. This is a call from our side for co-inventing with government agencies, with startups, with industries. We've already tied up with Zoho. We had a very big MOU ceremony yesterday. We have done that with IBM. So many companies, we actually work closely together for innovation.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Ganesh. Now I move to Dr. Sandeep Kumar. So, Mr. Sandeep, first of all, IIT is also one of the, among all the institutions that are working currently in terms of engineering or technological aspect, IITs are most proud organizations in the country, most reputed. So, in terms of IIT Delhi, I would like to know what are the key focus areas for School of Artificial Intelligence that you have in your campus, and how the same question that I have asked to Mr. Ganesh, how has the response been to your first of all certification program so far, and what is the future you see in your campus?
Fine, thank you. So thank you all for having me here, and thank you for organizing this event. So I will carry forward the momentum what Ganesh has created, that we are here to co-invent, right? As a center of excellence or as the institute of eminence, it is not only that thing that we want to develop something, we want to go develop. So in the same line, so as we all agree now, that AI has become more than a tool, right? It has become something which is era-defining, generation-defining, and can have capabilities or impacts in any direction, right? So, and in order to completely understand and develop, right, such that it is both well understood and beneficial for a society, we need to have a multidisciplinary approach. Right. To handle that part, primarily, IIT Delhi envisioned on setting up a school which is multidisciplinary. So in this school, the fundamental part is the school kind of hosts faculties from all the disciplines, from psychology to agriculture, like agricultural background, to astronomy, to electrical engineering, to computer science, because the scope and the innovation in AI and the implementation of AI is beyond any particular discipline. For example, throughout the day we have listened that there is neurosymbolic AI, right? So neurosymbolic AI finds its roots from logic, right? Philosophy. So in order to bring it to AI perspective, we need to have someone from that particular domain. So School of AI is a very interesting school where all domain faculties are housed together. We are open to students from all disciplines. Unlike other departments, there we require students from having particular background, like electrical engineering seeks a student from certain background, computer science seeks a student from certain background, but in School of AI, all discipline students are welcome, and they come together, sit together in order to design or understand what should be the future of AI. So in that case, AI, the School of AI is working on the model of AI plus X. So there are two components, AI focusing on the core AI research. Under that vertical, we are focusing on classical machine learning in terms of that relational machine learning, and then the fairness aspects in machine learning, and also the kind of a different, and the neurosymbolic machine learning. And then application sides, we are focusing on AI applications for Industry 4.0. One of the strongest vertical at IIT Delhi is healthcare. We have also received kind of a center of excellence with aims of 300 crore, and where we are actively working on. And the other vertical from AI is the AI for climate science. So these are the verticals currently School of AI is focusing. In terms of, so we also realize as an institute, right, the upskilling has become norm, right? Everyone needs to be upskilling on a regular manner. And more importantly, the current workforce who is not directly enrolled in a particular school or institute, they also need to be upskilled in AI domain. But how they will upskill, right? Our students, we are creating a program where AI curriculum is a part of their understanding. But for the industry professionals, for the officers and all, we need to go beyond regular classroom boundaries. So we have certificate courses program, which are primarily being run on weekend basis, Saturday, online mode for industry professionals. And regularly we conduct modular courses for industry, like the government officials. So we have trained IS officers, IAS officers, CRIS officers on a regular basis for the particular domain. And the course is going too well. From the outside IIT Delhi curriculum, we have trained more than 5,000 students, industry professionals, CEOs, senior government officers, bureaucrats. Yeah, and we see a very hopeful future at the intersection of AI plus X.
So do you think more people will be interested to grow the talent pool of AI?
Yes, so that is the most kind of the limiting factor for India, right? Is not the kind of resources, the actual good resources. And so we need to train our own workforce, right, in order to make the best out of AI. So in order to have the complete ecosystem, the most important part here is the having good resources sitting at different places. And for that, institution like us would have to play a very active role. And we are playing in some.
So there is a academia and industry participation is going on already. So that is one of the biggest thing that we have to look for, because public-private partnership is important. So is academia and
exactly. So like multidisciplinary, kind of multi-institutional, public-private, public-government. So we need to have a kind of a blurred understanding of boundaries. Then only we will be able to realize the full potential.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. I move to our next panelist, Gaurav Kumar Nayak. Mr. Gaurav, thank you for coming to our event. And my first question will be, how has been the reception for IIT Roorkee's PG certification course program in AI, Gen AI and ML? Like, what kind of response you have seen from the students or the participants, whether you have seen a multi-effect growth in terms of participations, or and do you see it growing in the next few years?
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful question, and thank you for the invitation here. So, I mean, compared to, there are several certification programs in IIT Roorkee, and compared to other streams, if we compare to AI and ML, large number of people apply here and they do certification. And recently, we have also generative AI courses that have been launched, and we have seen overwhelming responses by the participants, especially the working professionals. And I mean, we had to, I mean, more than our expectations, the number of participants were double of that, and somehow we have to limit ourselves to maintain logistics. And also recently I have also introduced a generative AI course myself in the Mehta Family School department as a PG program,
Okay.
course program for MTech and PhD students. And there also we saw that there was a lot of interest from students from multiple diverse backgrounds. Let's say people from civil or mechanical also, and electrical people. So different people coming from different backgrounds, they showed a lot of interest. And particularly, I think the major thing that the interest is lying in how to use these generative models in their own applications, right, or in their own fields. So this is what they are looking for, like what to use and when to use and how to use.
Right.
So this is what is being driving them, and they are very much eager to learn. And I feel that in the future also this will be in much more demand, at least for a couple of more years.
Okay. I have one more question for you. The same I asked other panelists. How do you see India's role evolving in global generative AI landscape in coming future from the academic perspective?
Yeah, so I think this generative AI has been like, as other panelists also said, not just related to a specific to particular area, but people have been exploring it in diverse areas, and not just to the academic environment, but also the industry people have been extensively using it. So what I expect is that in the very future, you will see a lot of more collaborations between the industry and the academics. And also not just in India, but also international collaborations, and people from diverse backgrounds will come forward, and they are coming forward, where they're trying to use this for their own use cases. Let's say they want to fine tune LLMs for a particular use case. In fact, you can also expect that that, for example, the managers or even other people who may not be that much involved related to the IT industry, but then they also kind of keen in exploring how to make use of such things. For example, ChatGPT, even the normal people or layman people, they are also quite keen in how we can use it for the purpose, let's say documentation or formatting or getting some suggestions, right? So it's been quite disruptive, the generative AI, and I think this will be the new, era of thing that will be, should be there in the core curriculum of all the different streams.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Since we are completely out of time, I have my last question for each of the panelists, 20 seconds each. Just, I just want to know how in India do you think the growth of AI can come from the IITs or any other institutions for that matter? What kind of implementations or work needs to be done more in institutions, in your institutions and in other institutions also? What kind of other roles need to be implemented? What kind of other programs need to be implemented? Whether you need more government support, whether you need more private players support for the growth of AI, because academia is the place and the institution is a place which, as our panel name suggests, nurturing ground. So starting with Mr. Ganesh.
And thanks for this very important question. First of all, I must say that the way generative AI is operating today is insane. Insane in terms of the way it is draining compute, GPUs, and insane also in terms of the way data redundancy is being exploited, but probably in a very unhealthy manner, not leaving too much trace, right? So provenance, data efficiency, compute efficiency. In fact, we have an open source platform called decile.org, which we've been actually leveraging in several products since several years and publishing around it as well. A lot of work we are trying to do in the space of LLMs with data efficiency. And again, taking inspiration from databases, bringing declarative semantics into the entire ML learning process, which also relates to provenance. I mean, there was, you alluded to reasoning, right? So that makes reasoning even more possible. I think there's going to be a game shift, because we also need to move away from GPU and constant race for upping the GPU memories. I mean, you need to be able to work with legacy GPUs and in fact even CPUs. Right? That's how you can democratize AI. So I think that is the future. Indian languages, and being grounded in applications has also that advantage. We should not just use the phrase use case capital to make AI very cheap. Actually, you can become a use case capital, but think through the entire stack. You need to develop expertise on the entire stack. That's when you can actually democratize AI, not just becoming only a use case capital.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sandeep?
Right. So apart from the technical challenges, I think that we can take care of eventually, right? Some of the challenges which I want to highlight. First challenge is that you see, like recently we have seen that OpenAI has poached, the Meta AI has poached OpenAI with an insane amount, right? So one of the challenge what we are facing currently in that the kind of the standardization that we have in terms of salaries, right, that we can offer as a from institute, that is somewhere limiting us to hire more resourceful candidates as a part of a researcher. So somewhere like Section 8 companies or some other modalities have to work out, and if there are some flexibility in that, like in that line, that would be greatly helpful. Other than that, whatever I see, the kind of ecosystem which is growing in our country, right, and the kind of active participation from the government agencies and from the other startups are also very actively participating. So I do not see any immediate threat or any immediate bottleneck. I am quite positive and hopeful. The only thing is that the resources, because when we have recruited someone, they work well with us and suddenly they get very high paid job and they leave the projects in between.
Right.
So apart from that issue, I am not facing any significant challenge. Right, yeah, and I am quite hopeful that also we will take care of.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Gaurav?
Yeah, so I think just agreeing with the panelist, and just to add, like the major challenge that I feel is typically when we do research in the LLMs and generative AIs is the compute which typically, let's say for example, in not only in IITs but in other institutes also, if you have to run these models and do fine tuning, it becomes more challenging, and it becomes difficult for, if many people are working towards the same area, generative AI and all, availability of resources, typically the compute power becomes a little bit challenging. And I feel maybe in this scenario, the cloud-based solutions could be more helpful, and more tie-ups with the industries to do collaborative works where they can help us support with the necessary infrastructure that can lead to more groundbreaking work in this area. That can be I think that could be helpful.
Great. Thank you all of you for joining us for this summit. Hope everyone understood where we are standing now in terms of academia, what they are doing in terms of AI, and how we can go ahead with the Viksit Bharat 2047 with this motto. Now I am calling my Ganesh to facilitate our panelist. Professor Ganesh Ramakrishnan, sir. Dr. Sandeep Kumar. And Mr. Gaurav Kumar Nayak. Please be on the stage for a group photo.
Prison.